Well, hi everyone, and welcome to week 6 assignment review for ADMG 475 executing project management level 2. Let's see what we've got going on for this week. And indeed, this week we do have a team activity. And this team activity is all about getting your team together and making some decisions about the venue options and making a recommendation about what venue to choose. And you're going to go through a process of first defining the criteria by which you will evaluate the 3 venues that have been presented. Okay, so it's important to know that in the project update information for the Module 6 assignment, 3 vendors have provided bids, and these 3 vendors are the venue selection that are available. And there are some specifications that have also been provided for each of these vendors. So you will be making a choice from one of the 3 that's been presented in the module assignment update information. Of course, you're going to complete the project team meeting minutes, that template that's available, and that's going to document your meeting. And of course, you want to select somebody who's going to be your project manager for this activity. Now, I would like to see you folks all get together and start off the discussion by looking at your work breakdown structures and agreeing on a percentage of completion for some of these main or key activities. Now, I understand that each of you has a different WBS, and that's perfectly okay, but you have key tasks that are in common, that are critical to the process. So it's a good idea to come to some kind of an agreement on the current state of these tasks. And when I say state, what's this percentage of completion? Now, I want you to use the information that you gain from your discussions in your team meeting about your work breakdown structures to then update your own work breakdown structure with what you believe to be the percentage of completion for certain tasks, for the tasks in your own WBS. Okay, again, an opportunity to share what y'all have and what you all think. And another thing that's very important, project managers spend a lot of their time getting project status updates and doing project reporting, project performance reporting. And in order to get performance reporting, you've got to talk to people and ask them how far along, what have you done, what have you completed, how much do you have left to do, so that you can update the percentage of completion. So that's kind of what this activity is about. It's kind of giving you an opportunity to act in that role. Because this is probably second to executing. This is the second area where a project manager spends the most amount of time finding out how much work has been done, what's left to do, and then reporting that status back. So use this as an opportunity to play around with that activity. You're then going to discuss and resolve these questions and then document these questions in your template. So as a team, come up with some criteria for venue selection. Brainstorm what you believe would be important criteria for our event that would need to be in place for us to choose a venue. All right, that's going to be your criteria. Use the project supplier selection matrix. There is a template that's located in the course information module, and you're going to complete that template. Based on the criteria evaluation, which venue best meets the needs for the event? And again, you have 3 venues to choose from, 3 bidders, and you have some specifications that have been provided on each of those. Then describe how you recommend managing any shortcomings in the venues, because not one venue is going to be able to do exactly what you need it to do. I can tell you that right now. So you're going to have some shortcomings. How would you manage those shortcomings? That's very important. and then present this information in your team meeting. So basically document this. Submit your documentation of the team meeting using the meeting minutes template, and that is it. Only one person needs to do this for the whole team. There is no discussion this week, and this week's assignment is all about supplier management and procurement management. So after visiting 3 venues for the event and receiving bids, it's time to make a selection. In addition, you have to negotiate contracts for your master of ceremonies, your string quartet, your 40s band. And then depending on the choice of the venue, you may need additional services. If the venue doesn't provide parking, doesn't provide alcohol services, doesn't provide other types of services, then you're going to need to consider those also in your supplier management, your procurement management plan. Now, this is a disclaimer. All of the information provided regarding these venues is fictitious, even though they may sound the same as some venues that you see around town. The data is fictitious. It's made up. It should not be considered representative of any actual location or venue. Again, it's all made up. So we have the Benevolent and Protective Order of the Elks Lodge, and the data here for the Elks Lodge. We have Kittitas Valley Event Center, and then the data for the Event Center, and then Hampton Inn and Conference Center, and the data that's available for that. Okay, so you're going to use all of that information in your team assignment, and you're going to bring that back into your own individual assignment. So your teams met this week to discuss venues and make a choice based on the information provided. In addition, your team discussed and agreed on an overall percentage of completion on various project tasks. In Microsoft Project, be sure to update your tasks with what you believe to be appropriate percentages of completion. Now you're going to prepare a project procurement management plan as follows. Microsoft Word to prepare your plan, and you're going to label sections as they have been identified. The first section is going to be procurement requirements. You're going to list all activities, supplies, and services needed for this project. In the second section, you're going to, for every activity, supply, or service that is appropriate, use Exhibit 12-4 as a guide and develop your own set of criteria for selecting a supplier. Use the Project Supplier Selection Matrix located in the course project module and replace the selection criteria with those that you have defined. Complete all sections, copy and paste this information into a Word document and title that Selection Criteria. You will need to complete a matrix for each activity, service, or supplier you have deemed appropriate. Okay? Identify the type of contract that would be used for each activity, supplier, service. Label that contract type. And then, in addition, update your Microsoft project file. Okay? Submit both your procurement plan and your Microsoft project plan for your assignment this week. Now let's look at Exhibit 12.4. Again, these are examples. The categories of criteria run across the top with specific considerations down each of the columns. You're going to create one for each procurement. So factors to consider when selecting a build design contractor, though I would replace that information with factors to consider for venue, factors to consider for big band, factors to consider for, and then change that out. And then you can again set up either whatever your criteria are that run across the top, and then for each one you're going to want to come down the side there. This is the project selection, the supplier selection matrix, and you've probably seen something like this before. It's that weighted matrix. You guys have used this before, and now is where you get to enter some data here. and fill this out. Okay. Don't forget you have a quiz that's due on Sunday, and I believe your team assignment is due on Saturday, if I remember correctly. All right. Don't hesitate to email me if you have any questions.